Hello, my horses. Are you all right? A very good evening to you, and dinky-doo, as we say in the very best of circles. Scottie McCLUE with you, saying welcome, welcome, welcome to our Saturday night 1 hour of superb, scintillating information, education, and entertainment for not just one nation, but for all the nations of the world. So glad you could join us. Come and give us your chat. Tell us where you're watching from, of course. Always very, very important. And in a few minutes' time, we'll open up the phone lines and we can get a bit of a chat. There's Kareem on. Hello, Kareem. Lovely to have you with us. Dinky-Doo Miguel. I'm so glad you could join us on the YouTube channel. I'm from Scotland, says Death to America. What a very strange name to have. Why would you want Death to America? Good evening from Blackpool. Good evening, Bobby. Dinky-Doo. Hi from Cumbernauld. Scotty. Oh, is the clock still in Cumbernauld? Am I right in thinking the big clock from St. Enoch Hotel is there? Dinky-Doo. Good evening, Scotty. Good evening, Glenn. Lovely to have you with us. There's William. Canbro. Dinky-Doo. Lovely to have you with us. Live streams, 9 p.m. A Canon event. A very important event, I say to you, on people's weekly calendar. Get on and join Scottie McCLUE. Scottie McCLUE, JJ. I love you, Scotty. Dinky-Doo. Would you rather... What have you got? Oh, listen, Jordan, don't do these silly would you rather things. They're very silly. Come on, have a proper chat, grown-up chat. So there we are. Thank you for my wonderful gift. Dominic has just given me a beautiful gift. I'm from Ireland. So there you are. Dinky-Doo. No, it's gone, the clock. Oh, is it gone, Angie? What a shame. Medicated. Thank you for your beautiful, beautiful gifts. What a lovely thing to do. Scotty's the dude, JD. How lovely to have you with us. Fantastic stuff. Oi, oi, says Robert. Oi, oi, Robert. Hi, Scotty, says Andrew. Hello. Can you tell us a joke, says JJ. No, we don't really do jokes, JJ, but you can tell us one if it's clean and printable. Now, what do we got? William, we can't actually see that nowadays. They all get up in arms. But I see what you mean. Bonsoir, Monsieur McCLUE. Dinky-Doo. David says, aye, aye. Aye, aye. You have a great character, very enthusiastic. It's great. Annie, you're very, very kind, but we like to look after every day. If you've just joined us on the YouTube channel, a very, very warm welcome. Please get thumbs up and get subscribing. Very, very important. What about it? Opinion in Newark on Trent, the docks at Newark. Very nice. If you're watching on the TikTok, every single one of you, get yourself right up to the top left, click the plus, and that's you part of the big one. So there you are. Scotty, are you on benefits? What benefits do I get? I've got my cap, so I'm on that. That's rather good. And what other benefits do I get? And I've got a cup of tea, so I suppose that would be benefits, wouldn't it? Fantastic. Let me show you my cup of tea. Guys, if you've all got a cup of tea, let's have a general sup. Is that the right way round on the TikTok and the right way round on the YouTube? There we are. Fut like for Alicante, you're in Alicante. Is it true Shakespeare was Scottish? No, Burns was Scottish. So there you are. Apple user says, are you in the craft? Well, I do a lot of raffia, and I've done tapestry as well. I'm in the arts and crafts. Is there whiskey in the tea? No, we don't do the alcohol. Hello again, Scottie McCLUE. A Grim Reaper Dinky-Doo. Scotty, I like your joke about the Xbox. Xbox. Yes, an Xbox 6. 6 eggs in the one box. Scotty, have you thought about supporting my business? What would you like us to do with your business, William? So there you have it. Dinky-Doo. Lovely to have Glenn on there, I say to you. Are you English, pal? Because I'm Scottish. No, pal. I'm Scottish. Are you English, pal? Where are you really from? Fantastic. We love all that. Happy Saturday, Scotty. F document, Dinky-Doo. Fantastic. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Are the lines being opened? Yes, Glenn, we'll open the lines in about 5 minutes, and you can phone in, guys. But sensible stuff tonight. I don't want half-wits phoning in, shouting and being silly and wasting time. So there we have it. Now then, hang on a wee second. We got here. Fantastic. Lovely. Now, phones, Scotty, are the phones on? Phones are on 4 minutes, Francis. Get the phones on. I want to move to Glasgow. What do you think? Well, it depends what you're going to do in Glasgow. Glasgow is probably the finest city in the world. And there are many, many fine cities in the world. So there we are. Dinky-Doo, I say to you, fantastic show, Scotty. Andrew William, wonderful stuff. So what else have we got here? Hang on a second. My secret mission is to create the perfect species, says High Evolutionary. Wow, we'll look forward to that. I think a lot of us on here are the perfect species. So there you are. Grim Reaper, why would you call Scotty a McFart? I know, did you see that in the TikTok videos? Guys, watch every single TikTok video. So there we have it. That's what it's all about. Hold on, I'm just sorting out one or two people here who don't know how to behave. Now, guys, if you're coming on, what you do is you behave. There we are. You're on Scottie McClue's show, so you're worldwide. So very best of behavior, no nonsense, no silliness trying to get me to say silly things. That is a lifetime ban. Oh! So we're just setting the ground rules. No second names, no names of individuals, and we don't slag anyone off. So there we have. Scotty, can we ask the nation a question? Does anyone buy alcohol-free beer? I just realized I bought some by accident, and it really annoyed me. Expensive. And in the beer section, F document. I remember a lovely colleague of mine, and he was furious. He thought he had his car with him. So he was drinking alcohol-free lager. I think he had about 3 pints of it. And then he got back and realized his son had the car and was going to pick him up. And he was furious. So please don't ban Wilson. No, well, we want Daredevil. Why would we? Stallion, what have you done? Stallion Fish has just sent me £2 on YouTube. Stallion Fish, you're such a lovely person, and that's a lot of pennies when things are tight. Yes, indeed. How are we? How's the big stepper? Have you ever visited Risky Reels? No, we don't do anything risky, really. Used to listen to you at Scott FM years ago, says Macca. Macca, that was some station. Big Scotty, do you support the IRA? No, Theodore. Nobody supports the IRA. They've had their day. There's a few thugs in some of the schemes quite in the south of the 6 counties trying to cause problems, but they're just thugs. So there we are. But no, nobody would ever support any terrorist organizations, and certainly not me. Okie dokie, Scotty. Okie dokie, Daredevil. Stallion Fish, thank you for my £2. You're very kind. Stallion Fish has tapped the dollar. Independence, yes or no? Well, if we can, Thomas. My problem is getting all the dafties to realize they must be 100% behind the monarchy. Here's why. I'm going to try and explain it to you. If, for instance, people say, I will have a republic after we're independent, forget that. That's just going to kick independence into the long grass forever. Yes? And you don't want that. Also, you're going to lose 50% of your vote right away, and the same thing will happen as happened in 2014. So every independence person has to get 100% behind the king as our head of state and sovereign lord. Once that's done, then you've got a good argument for an independent Scotland under the Crown. Okay? Same as it was before 1707. Well, Dinky-Doo, fantastic. Now, time to open the lines, I say to you. Hello, thank you, everybody, for my beautiful red roses. Guys, I've just been given, can you see that mini goal there? I've just been given 35 red roses out of 100 already. Can everybody go tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap on the phones? Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tappity, tappity, tap on your phones as soon as you can. Have you ever done a distillery tour, Scotty? Ali? Several of them in the days when I used to drink alcohol. Here's a call. You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, Scotty. It's Pablo. You all right?
Pablo, thank you so much for your kindness.
I had to put £2 in the squeeze box. You know that, Scotty.
Well, you were watching the other morning when we did the squeeze box.
No, I don't think it was, no.
No, have you not? Well, we popped it up on video anyway, so not to worry. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, really. I've just enjoying the good weather we've had, really.
Have you had stunning weather? You need to turn your background down.
Scotty, a little bit of a bad line.
Yeah, we can hear the feedback from your speaker.
That's a strange one. I'm hearing you breaking up for the first time.
Well, have you got your speaker turned up?
No, what I'll do, I'll ring back and I'll just go to a different room and see if it's the room.
See if it's the room, Lala. Right, no problem. Look forward to it.
Yeah, I'll go.
Whoa, that's Pablo. Fantastic. Dinky-Doo. Hello, everybody. Hello, Brody. Dinky-Doo. Independence, yes or no? So definitely yes, as long as everybody gets behind the king. Macca says, used to listen to Scott FM years ago. Fantastic. Right, who's this? You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Dinky-Doo, Sky. How you doing?
Hey, Glenn, Lala. Are we all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Just apart from an irritating eye infection at the moment, Sky.
Oh, La, you need to watch your eyes. What have you been rubbing them?
Well, basically, as you realise, we had our little girl a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And she was born with a bit of sticky eye.
Right. So you think you've picked it up?
So it's basically just spread kind of thing, yeah.
Right,
so
right. Have you got something for it, love? Have you got some eye ointment?
I've got some eye ointment, yeah, the eye drops.
I know what you mean, lovely, lovely. That should clear it up pretty sharpish.
It's very irritating though, Scotty. I don't know whether you've had the problem.
Oh, yes, I have. I used to work in a bank, and in those days the money was all paper money and it was filthy. And I used to count all that notes, and of course on a hot day or something, you might rub your eye. And they actually knew we had a little place called the Eye Infirmary in Greenock. It's now the Ardgowan Hospice and does wonderful work for people. And it was called the Eye Infirmary. So you could go in there and they would have a look at it. And she said, you haven't touched money, have you? I said, oh, I've touched a lot of money. And I think I had to explain to her I worked in a bank because she thought I was like a robber or a millionaire, you know.
Chance to be a fine thing.
Chance to be a fine thing, Lala. So anyway, that was it. And oh boy, does it get irritating.
It really does, like when you sit in.
Yeah, and you used to get a thing called a sty. You don't see so much of it now. And people's eyes swelled up, and there was a little sort of ulcer on the lid, and that was a sty in your eye.
And then sometimes when you go out, it feels like you've been going 10 rounds with it.
Oh, it's very painful. Another time I was marching home in Perth on a lovely summer's night, and somebody hadn't trimmed their privet hedge, and it caught me right in the eye. Oh!
Especially where, I don't know whether you're some hay fever, Scotty, or something with, allergies.
Oh, all that stuff, yeah. Well, it'll kind of, you'll know how it feels when your eyes get all red.
And all sticky and all, when you wake up in the morning and you've got It's a big organ, though, Scotty, and it's your eyes.
You've got to look after your eyes if you can, you know. They're very, very important.
Definitely.
Yeah, the eyes have it. There's no doubt about it.
I suppose it's just your immune system just dealing with it, really.
It's just part of life, love. Everybody's got a package and a genetic package, and then you can sort of add or subtract depending on what you eat and all that stuff, you know.
All the antibodies and all the everything what's coming out of your system, really.
That's what it's all about. I'm just having a general sup of tea here, Glenn.
Brilliant. What do you reckon? What do you reckon to the technology, the way things have? When we used to have like the Atari and the Sinclair and the Commodore 64 and
electric cars. Well, I don't know if I've told you this, Glenn. You see, but electric cars are actually nothing new at all. And C.S. Rolls of Rolls-Royce, Charles Stuart Rolls, who died in a ballooning accident in 1910. Very nice man, apparently. 34 he was, poor thing. Anyway, he had a few quid, and he was experimenting. I think there were maybe American electric cars, but he was into electric cars in the 1890s. I think round about 1892. So you had your electric cars. That would be just before your internal combustion engine became a thing.
Yeah.
And you also had the Stanley Steamer, I was going to say, which was a steam car. But you were sitting on the boiler, and as our old friend Fred Dibner would say, you know, with steam, you're effectively sitting on a bomb, because if that dries out, there's not enough water in the boiler, then it's a good night Vienna, you know. But the steam cars...
You can't beat the original, the old style things, kind of like steam engines.
Oh, lovely, the traction engine. Well, you see, Fred used to say he was born in the wrong century because he loved his traction engines.
Yeah.
You know?
One of your Scottish counterparts passed away a few days ago, didn't he? Gordon McCLUE.
Oh, yes, Gordon, yes, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, God rest him, I say.
Good footballer, by the sounds of it.
Absolutely, yes, wonderful fellow. So there we go. No, Scotland's produced some very great people indeed. So has Yorkshire, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Everywhere.
You know,
England and Scotland's got a lot to be proud of.
Lots and lots to be proud of. That's why we need that mob out of Downing Street before they do any more damage.
Definitely. I mean, Andy Murray's making a good comeback, Scotty, to be fair.
Yes, excellent stuff. And we know the famous Scottie McClue video.
Oh, it was fantastic. That was just amazing.
That was quite funny, wasn't it?
It's just,
and you're in front of the world's media.
You're never going to lose that identity, Scotty, no matter where you go.
In front of the world's media. You can't, and you don't ask for any of it. It just happens.
You're always going to get noticed wherever you are, are you?
Well, I'll tell you a lovely thing. Michael Jackson, the late Michael Jackson, appeared at Sheffield Arena, right?
Yeah.
And the news reporters from Hallam FM were there. And they were vox popping people coming out of Michael Jackson, right? Now, the whole world knew Michael Jackson. And they said, "Excuse me, can I ask you, what did you think of Michael Jackson?" And this big Yorkshire lad goes, "Well, he's better than that Scottie McClue." And that went round the world as well.
Brilliant.
I love all that.
Michael Jackson were fantastic. A bit misunderstood at times, Scotty, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, apparently he's better than Scottie McClue, so I'll give him that one.
The king's still going, Scotty, anyway, aren't you?
It's wonderful stuff, isn't it? I'll tell you, Glenn. Now, you take great care of the dear self.
Yeah. And if ever you get a chance to watch, they've done the new Full Monty series out.
And the Full Monty sent them some best wishes, because I was in Sheffield, as you know, exactly at that time, and I queued up in the supermarket to get me copy on video.
Fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember what the price was at 13
I never lose interest the typical English films, Scotty. I think they're fantastic, to be honest.
Well, they go on for years. I mean, even when you see stuff from the 30s, 40s, 50s, I sit down in front of it. I think this is brilliant. This.
Oh, it's better than some of the rubbish they put.
Oh, listen, I am so disappointed. I would actually say to people, do not watch the mainstream media because it'll depress you. In fact, I think I did a little video about it. You'll see it up on either on the YouTube or the TikTok videos.
You've got, like I said, you've got no reason to have it these days.
No. Why would you?
I mean,
you've got it all on. You've got it on TikTok. You've got it on YouTube. You know.
You've got it at your fingertips, literally, haven't you?
You've got it absolutely there. If you don't like it, you scroll past. Not a problem.
Exactly.
Hey,
the best thing to do is to like and subscribe, though, Scotty. That's the best thing.
Like and subscribe and follow.
Exactly.
Love you, Glenn. You take great care, buddy.
Love you, Sky.
See you, bud. All the best. Bless you. Top man. That's our Glenn from Yorkshire. There we are. From Sheffield. He's in the Midlands now, of course. And he's the father of 2 lovely daughters. There we are. Now, what do we got here? I see they managed to water down Brexit. Water it down. You're live on Scottish Phone In. Who's that?
Hello, Scotty. Pablo, take 2.
Pablo, take 2. Lovely to hear you. Dinky-Doo.
It was so good the first time, I had to ring back and do it the second time.
We did it all over again. Now, what's happening in the real world, Pablo? What about Boris? I mean, that was an interesting one, wasn't it? No surprises, though.
I switched off from politics a long time ago, Scotty, so you'd have to fill me in with that. But
well, no, in fact, no, I'm not going to fill you in because I don't want to waste your time with that. Now, and I'll tell you why I don't want to waste your time with that, because I think people have totally, what this mob have done over the last 13 years or so is make us completely lose faith in politics.
Exactly.
Whether it's left or right or middle or green or blue, it doesn't matter. We've lost faith in it because we don't believe these people are delivering.
And I also don't think people think they've got a choice. I know you can vote for this party or that party, but I think that they believe in, most of the generations believe that it doesn't matter what you vote, these people will be in power for the next 8 years, regardless of...
No, see, I think, I'm sorry to interrupt, Pablo, but I'll tell you what I've just been thinking. If you've got a system going, right, say, for instance, we were building a new bridge over the Ship Canal, right? And you and I bid for it. We bid for the tender and we got it from council. So we were going to do the bridge. We'd have to give them a price and they would also give us penalties if we didn't deliver. Now, I think, you see where I'm going with this? I think you say to your politicians, we will vote you in, but every 6 months, right, or for the first 6 months to a year, you will be under review. If you don't deliver, you're out. You've got to resign and let the lot of a crack.
I think another thing was the expenses when the government was throwing everything, the expenses were claiming back on that. So going out eating, and not only were they getting a certain amount of money annually, but they were claiming back on expenses. So when you think about, the average Joe who goes to work and he's struggling to put food on the table,
you don't get any of that.
You see all that. Then you lose not just interest, you lose hope.
Yeah, you do. And once you lose hope, these people are finished because all we've got left. When I was telling somebody about their whole family and saying why they should support them, they're going, why should I then? I said, because they give you a sense of hope. And they went, they're not elected. I said, well, you couldn't have a better reason for having them. That's why this country has, up until now, had a degree of stability.
I never would say it that way, but it kind of makes sense.
Well, it's a degree of stability. I mean, Pablo, they cost you and I the same price as a packet of crisps, a large packet of ready salted. So you're looking at about
You're not
130,
going to
170.
miss that, neither are you, Scott. You're not even going to
And they're there as a target for people that can't get their head round the politicians. They're going, why are they giving him a coronation when people are starving? You see, because the reason people are starving is political, because the top people are keeping all the money.
Yeah, it's always political, and it is also the streets that are flooded in, you know, drugs and other stuff, and that, how easy it is to buy alcohol. So, you know, it's there to buy freely, but there's no one there to pick up the pieces. And when there's no one to pick up the pieces, it's easy to point the finger and say it's because we have a king or a queen, rather than say this is a failed politics or something. There's no rehabilitation for them. There's no one, you know, giving them hope and telling us different ways to handle stress. And that goes on even to the children, Scott. Like we spoke about a few weeks ago, there's no youth workers on the street giving these kids hope, sense of direction, telling them that, you know, you're not binded to the environment that you grow up in. You can be successful. There's none of that, Scotty.
No.
So, you know, no wonder politics, no one's got interest in politics.
No, and giving people a sense of hope, because what you're saying is there's only a handful of jobs will pay like big money, and they're going to people that we know and like. The rest of you can just muddle by, and you're on virtually the same money.
And yeah, no, that's it. When you hear about races eating out of food banks, Scotty, I think that's when you know politics are failing.
Yeah.
When you hear about ex-soldiers going back and they've lost their limb and they're out on the streets, that's when you know
politics are failed.
So
when you hear about 150 billion being spent on you know, stuff that was no use during the pandemic, that's when politics have failed.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear about
we had Boris Prime Minister at the time, or do you think, Scott, it would have happened regardless of who was Prime Minister?
Well, I don't know how important, you see, the only thing is what your Prime Minister can do. And you see, it's not really a job for a comedian, you know, and Boris is a bit of a comedian, and it's not really a job for a comedian. It's a job for somebody that gives the impression that they're definitely going to be looking into stuff and they take people's lives seriously.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Scott, I don't think he was much of a leader anyway. During the pandemic, you could tell he was reading through his scriptures or whatever. I don't know, you didn't see the serenity of what he was saying. And then he was going to different leaders and medicine or different leaders. And I think slowly but surely they were taking it away from him because he didn't look like a leader, Scott.
No.
Margaret Thatcher, I'm not a fan of. But what I'm trying to say is he didn't have that stature of a Margaret Thatcher. Could you imagine Margaret Thatcher being alive during this pandemic? I think things would have been.
Oh, I think there would certainly have been a lot more serious chat about it, and there wouldn't have been any parties.
Yeah.
Margaret Thatcher was never the kind of person that would put herself in that position.
No. I know we things about was it the 80s, Scotty, where she took all the milk? Was it the milk?
Thatcher, the milk snatcher.
Yeah, that's what they used to say, didn't they? And obviously, I'm from Salford, so we were very anti Margaret Thatcher. But do you think politics has gone soft on Scotty? Do you think these leaders, like back in the day, you could have a joke about what you wanted, you could say certain things, and no one would bat an eyelid. So do you think politics is going to say that?
Yes, you should be able to have a joke about almost anything, right? If people don't like it, they don't have to listen. So we're losing our freedom of speech, but a lot of that's this new wokeism that's coming in, which is based on communism and Marxism, you see? And they're trying to get us into, behaving in the same way the people of North Korea would behave. That's your ideal communism, and then the people at the top control you, you see? And that's what they're trying to get us into.
The thing is, people say to me, though, I think about your YouTube, that politics don't control their life, they don't listen to it, it doesn't have an effect on they do as they please. It's only if you allow it to affect you that it takes control of your life, but you become a part of the system. But if you go about your life in a different way and stop watching TV and blah blah blah, that you just go about your daily business and whatever happens. It's out of your hands, kind of thing.
Well, you see, your big danger. No, I'm just explaining something to you there. The big danger for, say, somebody like the police is crowd control. So the police don't like events where it's going to be difficult to control a crowd. So things like football matches, demonstrations, marches, all that stuff. Yep, that's a problem for the police. Now, what the politicians want to do is have an element of control over you. Now, they're not willing to trade a better life. So what they're wanting is people who have had a far more basic education, people who are not particularly savvy and sharp and understand politics and economics. And that's what we used to have. We used to have a battle for education, and education was the prize. Now they're not offering that as the prize. And then what that allowed you to do was get administrators and management and people for brand new things that could manage it with their abilities. Now they're not wanting that, because how do you control these people? Football, for instance, was great for politics because they know where the working person is on a Saturday afternoon between 3 and 6. Or between 1 and 7, So you're not going to get your weekends absolutely ruined. But now we're getting quite a lot more kind of people going, what's the point?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Scott. I took a lot of distance back with sport, but I feel like 8 years ago we said all you need to control mankind is sport and alcohol and a bit of drugs and things like that. And now I just think it's more sport. I don't think you need alcohol. I don't think you need drugs.
You don't need alcohol and drugs and all the rest of it, because that's not really helping with control. That's when people get out of control.
No, but I didn't mean control, Scott. I meant more dumbing down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see the alcohol dumbing them down. Just all we talk about is sport. They've got no time to sit with the children. And, they've been working all day. Then they go to the football. They'll get absolutely hammered. They'll come back. They've lost their voice. They might have got into a fight. Yeah. And then about more dumbed down than control. But anyway, Scotty, what I ring up for is I wanted to know your take on because it's been a bit of an issue with my neighbour and another neighbour. Right, in this day and age, we've got so many bins, so you can do your cardboard and your plastics. Now, my neighbour seems to like to burn his stuff, whether it's general waste like wood, cardboard, and he's been doing it a hell of a lot in the summer. He's doing some renovation to his garden, but it's getting to the point, Scotty, where you can't even have your window open. And this man come round and he just said to me, "Are you the guy doing it?" I said, "I'm not the guy doing it." He said, "No, I know it's not you, it's the guy next door." We went and seen him, so I just thought the councils have to be more thinking with this thing.
Yeah, I think you need an area called a closed area where you can't burn because it's too dangerous. Because you could set fire to a whole row of houses.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Using one chimney, it's contained in the chimney. But all it takes, Scotty, is to take a light or something, and it just spreads if you dry weeds and all that.
Yes, I mean, especially in the summer. And no, there shouldn't really be burning unless you've got a real good, clear bit to do it in.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think someone in a busy street with a pretty small or medium garden should be allowed to burn. They should be allowed to do barbecues.
No, if you've got a busy street and somebody's burning rubbish in the garden all the time, then I think you need to bring in something like, I don't know, 500 quid, a grand fine. And you say, "I'm sorry, but that's what's going to be happening."
Yes, but like I said, if you go on any council website, they're not really clear. What about this? They just say you can't burn plastics, you can't burn that. So that basically says that you can burn anything in your garden And it's only if it becomes like a nuisance to your neighbour, so your neighbour says, I'm sick of this, I can't have me washing out, I can't have the windows open for 2 minutes, and then put a complaint. I think there has to be something more serious now that says, with all this recycling things that we get the bins and that, there's no need.
No, you can recycle your batteries, everything can be recycled now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So there has to be something that comes out of law. I mean, I heard not so long ago that they were even thinking of stopping barbecues. I don't know if you heard that, Scotty.
That's interesting. I shall put this to the nation, Pablo.
Okay, Scotty. All right, dinky-doo anyway.
Lovely talking to you, and thanks again for all your generosity. And dinky-doo la.
No worries. Thanks a million.
Ta-la-la. There we are. That's our Pablo. Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. We love all that. Now then, Pablo's a wee bit underwater. What's going on? David, I think it might just be the Salford accent. You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Richard.
Hello?
Hello, it's Richard.
Richard, how are you?
I'm fine. I just want to say something. Scotty McClue, more like Scotty McCLUE.
You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
DINKY-DOO, Scotty. It's Kareem. How are you doing?
Oh, Kareem, lovely to hear you. Are you well?
I'm well, thank you, Scotty, and yourself.
Did you hear that halfway going, Scotty McClue? A man who knows nothing phoning me.
These people are numpties.
They are complete numpties. We know that. They're a pest to society. Now then, what can we do for you, sir?
It's not just listening, Scotty, and I was just thinking about some of the things that some callers have been putting in and writing about. They were saying Scottish independence. And I'm just thinking, prior to that, we've got a bit of, if the word is hypocrisy, that when we see that the previous First Minister, as you know, was released without charge. However, when, not to name names or to go into things in detail as usual, but when you look at the politicians down south, and a wee simple Google search would show you all the things that they're being investigated.
Oh, heavens above. When people go on about the SNP, I think, have a wee look at Westminster first, then come back to us, you know?
But that's one element of it. It's like, it's tit for tat. They are prepared to settle for that. The second anything that gets questioned up here with SNP, then it's all hell lets loose. And it's a slap in the face. You know, there was a good post earlier on in some on social media, and you'll hear this yourself, that we get a lot of things for free up here, Scotty, as you know, with the dental cares coming in, the free eye checks, the prescriptions, the meals for primary kids, all these things. And you get these idiots that say, nothing's for free, it comes out your taxes. Well, do you know what? I would rather that come out my taxes than having to pay an additional charge.
Yes.
You know, but these numpties don't seem to understand that or think that, or maybe they do, but they just think in their little tiny minds it's not ever going to happen. And
Scotland should have almost free power. And then for the ladies, the period poverty, that's been looked into as well. You know, so there's a lot of very, very good things happen in Scotland. We just need to be a lot firmer with Westminster. And as I say, if they don't want to grant us independence, how about letting us keep all of our income?
Well, I think the thing as well, Scotty, with a lot of these people, I think it does not matter what Westminster does. And I used to think when 2 years back, like, let's see what the Tories can do. We've seen what the Tories can do now, but these Muppets up here still want to be part of that system, still demand SNP to mitigate the cost increases that the rest of the UK have to pay, but yet again still trying to go SNP out. Now, when you get Labour, or God forbid even Scottish Tories in power up here, all these things are gone, and these half-wits are going to have to be paying X, Y, and Z extra. But I suppose, do you know what? I think they might be willing to pay so much more just to wave that little flag, just to say that they're British. Well,
you're British anyway, and I think the nationalists need to realise that, and I think the Labour, the Greens, the whole lot. You cannot be Scottish without being British, because you are on the landmass of Great Britain.
I was on a live yesterday, the day before, and it was this moron on the live as well. And I said, it doesn't matter. The only difference when independence comes is you will still be British. You're on the landmass of Britain. That will not change.
No.
Number two, the king will still be king. You will still have the monarchy. It will be the exact same. That's number two.
Yep.
Number three, the only difference is full financial control belongs to Scotland and the Scottish people. I think that's a win-win situation.
Yes.
But these people are too indoctrinated, if that's the word, where they can't think out the box, and they're more than happy to continue to vote for poverty but try and get things mitigated.
I think we'd be better having it that you can't be Scottish and be a unionist.
Say that again, sorry, Scotty?
I think we should maybe have it that you can't be Scottish and still be a unionist.
Well, I think you've got plenty of unionists say they're British first before their own country.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. Their country is Scotland because there's no such country as Britain. Britain is a term, and it's retained for the monarchy, the British monarchy, and you've still got the British government. But when you hear somebody, in politics in Westminster say they love their country, they should clarify what country they're talking about.
Well, let's be honest, that will be down south, that will be England, and that's the problem. And it's quite interesting what you said earlier on about when you were talking about MPs, MSPs, that they should be under a trial and people should have more power.
Yes.
If you look at Scotland's actual constitution, and it does clearly state the people of Scotland are sovereign. So technically, within that written constitution, the politicians, if the people are not happy with the politicians, they have the power to basically fire them. The problem that we have at the moment, which has been, when you look at colonism, people are starting to think with the English constitution, and very slowly the Scottish constitution is becoming non-existent. Now, there are people who are rising up against that. There are people that are educating other people. But you know what these things are like, Scotty? There's a lot of morons out there that just do not care.
They don't understand. It's not always they don't care. They actually don't understand, and they're living in ignorance. And your problem is, we've seen what happens when the people are fed off Jen and then told it's democracy. So we've had two referenda or referendums, whichever way you want to call it, in the past 7 years, right? So we had one in 2014 for Scotland, we had one 2016 for coming out of Europe. Both of these have failed the people. Now, the people have been worked from the back, so they can now blame the people. Oh, it was the will of the people. People say to me, didn't Scotland vote to remain in the Union? No, Scotland didn't vote. There was a small majority voted to remain, but Scotland didn't vote to remain. And when they say, but didn't the people all vote to come out of Europe? No, about 2 million of a majority dictated to almost 70 million. So there's well over 55 million remainers. Do you see what I mean? Out of the 70 million who have now lost their EU citizenship so that the elite didn't have to declare their taxes.
What's interesting as well, Scotty, with the next general election coming up, and this is the thing, I'm blunt, Scotty, because I do think there's a lot of people up here in this beautiful country that are really thick as mints, and they'll be jumping on the bandwagon when it comes to this general election. Like in the 90s, you'll remember when Tony Blair won, and basically...
Well, see that day, the 1st of May 1997, I drove through the night from Sheffield to East Lothian, to my house in East Lothian, and I got in at 5 in the morning, completely exhausted, and I was about to go to bed, but of course I put the telly on. and I saw the whole Blair thing and the euphoria around it, and I actually thought to myself, this is the end. Because what you had in there was people who were well right of centre telling people they were left of centre. So that was my thought in 1997. So please don't shed a tear for me that I'm not surprised and taken aback by what's going on.
Yes. Yeah, well, Scotty, you can see that happening just now. The England, really, it's a two-horse race, as you know, but that two-horse race is part of the same system which they will fight fiercely, which is Westminster.
Yes.
You know, Keir Starmer's not going to be this knight in shining armour. You've seen what he's like in the news. He's always sitting on the fence. That will have to change when he's Prime Minister. I'm pretty sure he's going to throw a lot of his cabinet ministers under the bus when things go wrong. And he will get stabbed in the back just like what he done to Jeremy Corbyn.
Of course.
You know, but at the end of
and
the day,
the Labour Party know a thing or two about the night of the long knives.
Well, yeah, you know, they're meant to be the party of, you know, the working person, you know, the trade union movement. And at the end of the day, they're not. They're not going to change, you know, a basic human right is to strike. They're not changing that rule brought under the Tories. No. You know, there's a lot of things that...
Would it not be nice to say when they get voted in, not if, probably when they get voted in, would it not be nice to say, I'm sorry, Keir, but Scotland is nothing to do with you?
Yeah.
Would that not be nice?
These are resources. That's the thing, Scotty.
If I'd been running the Labour Party in 2014, I would have made a phone call to HQ in London and said, guys, sorry to cut you adrift, but I'm going it alone, or you're going to kick us into the long grass for the foreseeable future and beyond. That's what I would have said. So for our own survival of the Labour Party, which grew up in Scotland, can I tell you, we're cutting you loose and we're going with independence. They would be in power now.
I think the damage is done with Scottish Labour, with the MSPs, because there's too many rotten apples still in that party. And again, people up here just jump on the bandwagon. They're going to jump on this big roller coaster ride when everybody's voting Labour and down south at this general election. But then give it within a few months, you're going to see everything change. Things are probably, you know, the only thing I think that Labour are going to do exceptionally well when they get into power, and the evidence is there from last time, is improve the English NHS. I think that's the only thing that they could probably get a pat in the back for what they're going to do. It
sorely needs it, because it's suffered dreadfully under the Tories.
Correct.
Kareem, I'm going to have to dash, or you and I will be taking up the whole show.
Correct. Well, Scotty, I'll let you go, and listen, thanks for taking my call.
Lovely to hear you, Dinky-Doo, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There we are. That's Kareem. Always an excellent call, I have to say. Now then, who else have we got here? Let's just see what's happening. You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, it's Crawford.
Crawford, how are you, sir?
I'm mighty fine today. I watched the lovely Scotland winning in a brilliant game against Norway.
Oh, yes, Scotland-Norway, excellent stuff.
Yes, I was absolutely ecstatic when I saw both of those goals go in right at the last minute. I've known Kenny McCLUE for a long time. I'm a Paisley boy through and through. And
wonderful.
I knew Kenny when he played for St. Mirren.
Oh, wonderful stuff. Well, anyway, we'll not go into individuals, Crawford. That's not what we do on here. But no, not at all. Do tell us what you're thinking. How are things with you're a man for the mighty Glasgow Rangers, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yes.
Well, I think the signings we've done this week are absolutely superb, and I think with Ange Postecoglou leaving, we're in an even bigger step when that idiot Rodgers coming.
No. Remember, we didn't say individuals, Crawford.
Sorry.
No. We need to get that straight. Otherwise, you can't come on, and we don't want that, do we?
Sorry, I just got a bit carried away.
Well, it doesn't matter about carried away. That's what we don't do on here. So, you know, you've got to not get too carried away. Anyway,
Okay.
so these wonderful people you were talking about, and you reckon that things are looking ahead quite good.
Yes, I do. And I also wanted to bring up one more matter of discussion for you.
Yes.
Why don't we make a full British football team instead of 4 individual nations?
Just one British, so not a Scotland team, not an England team, not a Welsh, and not a Northern Irish team.
Yes, a full British team.
A British team coming from the United Kingdom.
Yes.
And what, scrap all the other clubs?
Yes, we just scrap every other national football team and make it the one big football nation.
Well, do you know, Crawford, you've redeemed yourself a bit there. That's a very interesting one. I shall put this out to not just one nation, but all the nations.
Thank you.
And Dinky-Doo, sir. There we are, right. That's our Crawford. I had to pull him up because, we can't have we're not a knocking shop on here. You certainly have a strong opinion. Hello, you're live with Scottish Phone In. Who's that?
Scotty, I had to phone you back after that call.
Right, lad. Yes, I did.
I just couldn't believe what I was listening to be honest with you. It cracked me up.
Do you like that? Just one football team?
Just one football team, to be honest.
Britain.
Scotty, are you going to get it down to the better players, from the English and the Scottish leagues?
Well, I mean, I think you'll just have to do your stuff. That's for the planners, isn't it?
And another thing, Scotty, what about the manager?
Well, you'll have to. He's got a job in his hands, hasn't he? But he's got the pick of the bunch, Glenn. So you see, if I was a football manager, I wouldn't mind, having that kind of choice.
So, they'll give Britain an advantage over the rest of the world.
You pull out the best of Britain, so you go and you rifle the team at Wednesday and United and Man U, Man City, Aston Villa, Birmingham City, Glasgow, Rangers, Glasgow Celtic.
Scotty, can you imagine the rivalry, the animosity what it caused there?
Well, there'd be a bit of they'd start to get a bit annoyed. They would say, why are they taking a Leeds man rather than a Newcastle man?
There'd be a bit of argy-bargy, to be fair.
There'd be a wee bit of argy-bargy on the pitch as well.
I think they do have football scarves, though, Scotty, like half and half scarves.
Well, what about just your the old red, white and blue? You could adopt the Glasgow Rangers scarf.
Can you imagine a Rangers Celtic?
Well, there wouldn't. You see, the problem is there wouldn't be any green and white in it if it was just the British team. So the hoops might get a bit upset, and we don't want that.
Definitely not. The green, the white, and the blue, and the jambos.
I think, you've got the jambos and the hibs, the jam tarts. I think what we might have to do is make sure that they keep in close touch with Scottie McClue, and we discuss the whole thing on here. Deal?
So you might be some sort of peacemaker then.
I think I should be the centerpiece for that one. The spokesperson for all that. And I was thinking today, apparently 70% of the younger generation under 35 would like to go away from the internet. Now, the question I'm putting out is, apart from Scottie McClue, is there anything else on the internet that has an important place in your life?
Well, at the moment, Scotty, I'd say Peppa Pig for me, to be honest.
Peppa Pig, well, of course, you've got 2 little ones, you see.
Yeah, for the YouTube videos and whatnot,
Yep, absolutely. Well, we'll have a look at that. Hey, Glenn, I'm going to have to dash, la. Dinky-Doo.
Nice one, Scotty.
And you.
Have a good one anyway, Scotty.
Take care. Look after your eyes, la. Fine fellow. Now then, so much happening, so little time to do it in tonight. Let's get down to a bit of feedback here, guys. I always feel that, we need to get going here. Let's see what we've got here. David, we are Scottish. Sometimes we spell in Scottish too. We are Scotty spitting facts, says F document. Of course, F document. It's now clear, says David. Excellent, David. Scotty, sign of the times. So there you are. Please, Scotty, I'm your number one fan, says Squiddies. Squiddies nuts. There we go. Fantastic stuff. Does Crawford want the SPL to be disbanded of a UKPL? I think that's about the size of it, PK. That's what we're getting. Crawford talking unionist nonsense. So there we are. So we don't want to be having all that. Right. Would Scotland rejoin the EU, says Dominic. Good evening from Lossiemouth. We love that. Fantastic, guys. Thank you for contributing to the live goal. I've got 48 red roses out of 100. I thank you. You beautiful, beautiful people. There we are. What an evening tonight, guys. I can tell you. Right. Are you a fan of Nicola Sturgeon? Well, I think everybody's really a fan of Nicola Sturgeon. And as far as we know, everything is fairly clear at the moment. Up the monarchy, says Davy. Absolutely, Davy. Are you watching the F1, lad? No. So there we go. I tell you. Have you ever been to the eastern Mombasa? I haven't, but my old friend used to paddle in it. What's that? Is that the Indian Ocean? You're straight into the sea, aren't you? In the east of Mombasa. Nice try, though, of course. Trying to be clever there. Your opinions on Biden saying God save the Queen. I'm not sure Biden would know who the Queen was, to be honest with you. The Universal Credit Ambassador, says Gus. Top man, Scotty, from Hillhead. Thank you, Aaron. Why do you frame photos of yourself, Big Stepper? Because, Sir Theodore, I was given them, and it would be rude not to say thank you by putting them up. There we are. No chance. He's not King of Scots. Didn't say an oath to Scotland. I think he did, Thomas. And it doesn't matter because after 1603, so you'd only have your Queen of Scots before 1603. The crowns are united, so he has axiomatically wearing the Scottish crown when he's wearing the English crown. Yes, capiche? So there you have it. So don't try and be clever. You've become part of my Saturday night, Scotty. Thank you. F document. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be part of everyone's Saturday night. There we go. Nigel, thank you so much for my beautiful heart. What a lovely, lovely thing to send. Now then, what have we got here? Can I join the live? You can, Alfie. Give us a call. Well, in fact, we're just about out of time, actually, sadly. Going to have to go. It's all right, Scotty. Dinky-Doo, everybody. What have we got here? Thank you, all of you, for contributing your beautiful gifts tonight. Absolutely amazing. Scotland has a constitution. I know what you mean, but England, Britain, I suppose, has got the Magna Carta from King John. The Magna Carta. So there we go. Guys, we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. From me, Scotty McClue, thanks for watching tonight. God bless. Dinky-Doo and ta-ra, lads! That's the beautiful TikTokers had to go. And we've got to say ta-ra to our beautiful, beautiful YouTubers as well. Guys, thanks for watching tonight. Make sure you've subscribed to the channel because we are on the move and we're wanting to grow and develop. And as I say, if anybody's feeling flush, you will see the GOFUNDME there. Sing the goodbye song, says Glenn. Scotty, you're a nice man. It takes one to know one. Thank you so much, Glenn. Yes, since you've requested it, Glenn, I'll sing you the goodbye song. Are we ready, everybody? Join in after 2. 2. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Take care, everybody, as you go. Goodbye, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. and cheerio. Cheerio, my darlings. Stick your tongues out and say ta-ta. Here we go. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.